Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be learning about negative and fractional indices. So for negative and fractional indices, we had a quick go through yesterday as well, and today we'll be learning it in detail. So the next slide I have keeping the same index law, and over there we are having our main focus is going to be learning about negative and fractional indices. So before we go ahead, I just want to share some of the things we did discuss yesterday as well. If you have, say for example, if you have 5 to the power minus 3, so we can write it as, just think and tell me quickly. I mean, if you, even though these are recorded lessons, but if you connect with the lesson and keep answering, it's going to be helping you literally as a live session only. So 5 to the power minus 3, what we do, we have two methods. We either are going to be making the denominator 1, we can write 1 over 5 cubed, or you can also think of 5 to the power minus 3, keeping the denominator 1, we can write it as 1 over 5 and it would be positive. Obviously 1 cubed is nothing but 1 only, and 5 cubed would be 5 cubed. So overall we end up with this answer. Either you use this method or that method. Okay, now if I say y is equal to, say for example, 2 over 4, or maybe not 2 over 4, say for example, okay fine, 2 over 4, 2 over 41, say for example. If I ask you what is the value of y inverse, y to the power minus 1, right? So what the value will be, y inverse, so we know we have, if we have to make negative to be positive, the indices to be positive, y inverse could be written as 1 over y, no? So 1 over y is reciprocal of y. So can we write it as 41 over 2? If that makes sense. This is very important, and it is something the part of the fractional or negative indices basically. So it's the one that is going to be making your questions challenging, and you would be, in past paper questions, you're going to be going through these type of concepts again a lot. So if again I say x to the power minus 1 is 5/3, right? So what x will be? If x inverse is 5/3, x will be 3/5, okay? Or if x is 2/7, what x inverse will be? 7/2. So this is what you have to remember, like x, if x is something, so its reciprocal would be negative x, right? So, I mean, these two are not equal. I'm not saying that. If x is, say for example, 9 over 5, so its reciprocal would be x inverse, that is 5 over 9. If you're understanding this concept, your questions are going to be very easy. Okay, now if this is okay, this is fine, I will be including one more thing for your fractional indices. So negative indices, if you're understanding this, it's going to be very, very easy. For fractional indices, if I say you have y to the power, okay, no worries, I won't be including the direct method. If I say square root of y is 3, right? So if you have to find out the value of y, what do? Just use the GCSE method, we just square that, correct? So y will be 3 squared. You know this thing, right? Whenever we want to get rid of the root, so this is the surd over there, the square root over there, just to get rid of square root, we square both sides. So this is what we did. Once you square, if you write square root of y squared, that is nothing but square root of y times square root of y, and it will give you y only. Because I'm considering you to be just passing out your GCSE, so obviously I'm going to be more explanatory over here. Hope that makes sense. So what I did, if its square root of y is equal to 3, so y will be 3 squared. Correct? If I show you square root can be written as a half, the square root is nothing but a half, power half, is equal to 3, and later on what you are writing, y is equal to 3 to the power 2. Can I write as 2 over 1? So if we just focus on this, because this is the main concept building time, right? So what you have y with some fractional indices. If you want to get rid of that fractional indices, the reciprocal will become the power of the right side term. So it was 1 over 2, it turns up to 2 over 1 over here when it goes to the right side. So if you're understanding this, and if I say for example, y is a over b equals p. y to the power a over b equals p. So from here you can say, I'll be writing here, y is p to the power reciprocal of that. It was a over b, so that would be b over a. So this you can keep as a concept, you know, if y to the power a over b is p, so y will be p to the power b over a. It's going to be helping you really a lot. You'll see once we'll be sitting to discuss past paper questions right after the discussion of content today, you will see this concept is helping you really a lot. So you can just take a note of this thing. I would suggest you to copy it down. Okay, now let's get started. So we are done with our negative and fractional indices. Now we'll be having some questions, a quick go through of questions. So the first is very easy. X cubed over, so over means you have to divide. So when you divide, you subtract indices. So 3 minus, and it's already a negative 3. So you're going to be getting x to the power of 3 plus 3, that gives us x to the power 6. Hope that makes sense. B part. Here it's a product, so product is nothing but the sum you have to add, but what you need to add fractional indices. So what's the problem? We're not kids. We know how to add fractions, no? So 3 plus 1 is 4, so it's going to be 4 over 2, that gives you that gives you x squared. Correct? So x squared is the final answer. Now here x cubed to the power of 2/3. What formula are we using? What law are we using over here? POP, power of power, right? So x cubed, when we have a bracket, yesterday we discussed, is 2/3. They are going to be multiplying. Now tell me, what is 3 times 2/3? So 3 times 2/3, it would cancel and you're going to be getting 2, right? So this concept is going to be called n number of times in fractional indices, right? The denominator would be cancelled by the numerator. So if you have any sort of, the picture of fractions not clear, so just remember, if the top and the bottom are multiplying like 3 times what the bottom is, and if the bottom is also 3, you're going to be getting the top number only. So if I try implementing the same concept, overall, let me write the answer first. So it gives us x squared again. For C part, now we'll be having the practice of this concept. So if I say x to the power 5 times 3/5, it will be cancelled and you're going to be getting x cubed. Correct? If I say x to the power 7 times 5/7, what would we get? Just tell me over here. Comment is needed. Okay, so now we're going to be discussing D part, right? C is done. For D part, we have 2x. Can we write it as 2x to the power 1.5 over 4x to the power negative 0.25? That is fine. So 2/4 is nothing but a half, and x to the power, whatever the top number is, top power is minus. Again, it's like A part only, just the indices is a bit complex, no? So 1 over 2 x to the power 1.5 plus 0.25. So that would give us a half, or you can say 0.5 x to the power 1.75. Does that make sense? Okay, perfect. Now we're going to be doing A part over here. E. Are we going to be running out of space? Let's see. E part. So it is 3 there, and you have 125 x to the power 6. For these type of questions, I would suggest you, whatever the number here you have, you try writing this inside thing as a power of that. So if it is 3 there, you will write the inside thing to the power of 3. So 125 could be written as 5 cubed. Does that make sense? 125 is 5 cubed, and x to the power 6 can be write as x squared to cube. Or if you are not understanding, I will add a filling step here. So 125, can we say 125 to be 5 cubed and x to the power of 6, correct? Now if you take that 3 outside, it has 3 and 6. This 6 can be written as 3 times 2. Yes or no? So if I just erase and try writing it to be 3 times 2, so what the next step is, we are going to be taking this 3 out as common. So if 3 is out, this one is going to be having nothing, like it has nothing, like can we write times 1? So 5 to the power 1 times 3, so you are left with 1 only, and x to the power of 3 times 2, so you are left with 2. Does that make sense? Any connection there? You can comment me if you're not understanding. I'll try, sorting it out, making it more settled, more easy. So 5x squared whole cubed. Now we are ready to, just write the outside indices in the form of fractional indices. Okay. Right before few seconds, I told you that if you have, this concept over here, so you're understanding 5 times 3/5 is going to be giving you the numerator part only, like 3. So 3 times 1/3, what it will give? So I'm going to write 5x squared inside as it is, and outside you have 3, okay, never mind, 3 times 1/3, and this 3 is basically that one. Okay, 3 times 1/3 is going to be giving you, it will cancel out and will give you 1. So you actually have got your answer to be 5x squared, right? Because it's a beginning, so I'm just trying to break it down really well, but it's not that complex. Once you're done with 5, 6, 7, 8, like around 10 questions, and I would suggest you try solving 10 questions. Like I personally, when I sit with students, I have to solve 6 to 7 questions with the child, with the student. Like they have to sit with me and solve those 6 questions. Then only I allow them to have an independent learning. Like these 6 questions are going to be giving you all type of, scenarios to think, and then once you get the confidence, you should work independently. And obviously you have to work independently. We teachers are just the catalyst there, no? F part I'm solving here, changing the color. So this thing we discussed yesterday. So when you have something like this, like expression divided by a common denominator, so what we do, we write the top expression as it is, 2x squared minus x divided by the bottom number. Like we're going to be splitting it over, okay, so you can write it as 2x to the power 2 take away 5 is a negative 3 minus x to the power, that is 1 minus pi is minus 4, and that goes your answer. You can also make it positive, so you can write it as, I need to change the color, you can write it as 2 over x cubed minus 1 over x to the power 4, and that is your final answer. Hope these questions are clear. let's move to the next part. Okay, now we are going to be discussing fractional or negative fractional indices. So first thing we have here as 9 to the power half. Okay, before we solve, I just want to give you one key to apply everywhere. Whatever the denominator you have to break this base as the to get that power. So you actually have to write this 9 as square of something, and outside you have a half. So what we did, let me try back. So what I did, this half I'm copying, and the inside number you have to write to be square of something. Correct? So 9 could be written as 3 squared. So this 9 is nothing but this thing written here, and times a half, right? So 2 times a half, it will give you 3 to the power 1 or just 3. Now this is a bottom number is 3. So you have to think of a cube, like what cube? A cube of a number that gives you 64 times 1/3. So a cube of 4 gives you 64. So 4 cubed is nothing but 64 and 1/3. We are not changing anything, we are just changing the form. Instead of writing 64, we have written 4 cubed. And how did we decide to write 4 only over here? Just with the bottom number, based on the bottom number. If your bottom number is 3, you're going to be making it to the power of 3. If the bottom number is 5, you will be making it to the power of 5. And literally you're going to be getting questions written in such a way that they are going to be giving you those indices only. Say for example, if I say 32 to the power of 2/5, something like that. So what would you do? The bottom number is 5, so you will think of, use your brain, think a number to the power of 5. Like 32 is, you have to think of what goes 5 times, like repeats 5 times to give you 32, and you will get your answer, times 2/5. So that is 2 actually. Okay, never mind, that is not our question. We have it here, so you're going to be getting 4 as your answer. Okay, now if you're understanding, just tell me what would you get over here. So that is your part. I will be coming to last question, which is negative. So how can we make it positive? Just by writing 1 over 25 to the power 3 halves. The bottom number is 2. So what can we do? 1 over what squares to give you 25. What squares to give you 25. So 5 squared is 25. And here it would be cancelled. You're going to be getting 1 over 5 cubed. That is nothing but 125. Okay, right? So let's have a very quick look at what we did over here. It was a negative indices. We immediately did nothing but the reciprocal. So what we can do, we can just write it as 25 over 1. So 25 over 1. So flipping will be 1 over 25. Obviously, the indices you have to keep with you. This indices is actually driving you to, find the reciprocal of that. And then it's simple. Okay. So next question. Okay, we have it here. Now this one is actually going to be implementing what we discussed very early. Remember? Like here where we were discussing about what y inverse would be and all those things. So they have given y is 1 over 16 x squared. Okay, you tell me, can we write it as x squared over 16? 1 times x squared is x squared only. No? Okay. Can we also write it as x over 4 squared? 16 can be written as 4 squared, and we can take, once you have, or maybe let me just show you the intermediate step. So can we write it as x squared and 16 to be 4 squared? Because they both have same common indices, So we're going to be taking a bracket and writing it there, and we can write x over 4 inside, right? Okay, now this is like I just sorted it out. Now A part is asking us y to the power half. So what y is? Y is nothing but x over 4 squared, and you have to do a half, so just do a half. So it was y half, so this is half, and this complete thing is nothing but y. Hope that makes sense. So what the answer will be? That's simple. Answer is x over 4. Correct? Now for B part, it's 4 y inverse. Inverse thing we discussed, it flips. So it would be 4 times y is x over 4, or maybe just focus here. It is x squared over 16, so that would be 16 over x squared. So it would give us 16 times 4 is 64 over x squared. And that's your answer. Correct? What are they asking? They are asking us to write in this form. Okay, so we can say 1 over 4 x to the power 1, where k is a quarter and n, I'm writing n, n is 1. And for this question, so it's 64. Can we write it as x to the power minus 2 because we are moving it up? So your k is 64 and n is a negative 2. Correct? Next question we have, very easy, 81 to the power of, once you've understood the concept, now there is no problem, no? 1 over 4. You just need to think of, you have to write it, something to the power 4 and just copy a quarter. So something to the power 4. 81 could be 9 squared or could be 3 to the power 4. So we have to take the one which is giving us the power 4. So you will keep 3 as the base. That is cancelled and your answer goes 3. Now B part. For B part, you have x times the whole bracket that has the power 4. So you're going to be writing 2 to the power 4 times x to the power minus 1/3 times 4. X to the power 1 times 2 to the power 4 is nothing but 16. Don't make a mistake like a child yesterday to be writing it as 8. Here x to the power of minus 4/3. Correct? Okay, 16 gonna be writing like this, and we can have a product law over here. Product law is adding both indices, so 1 plus minus 4/3. So plus minus gives us a negative only, so it would be 16 x to the power 1 minus 4/3. What that gives? 16 x to the power a negative 1 over 3. Correct? And yes, if you want to make it positive, so it's going to be 16 over x to the power 1/3. Okay, many a times I see students making mistake, like when they write, say for example, the same question, 16 to the power a negative 1/3. So if they are making it positive, they write it cubed. No, this is wrong. 1/3 and 3 times cubed, they both are different. No? So when you find reciprocal, makes the indices positive. Reciprocal meaning the indices is going to be positive, but you are not going to be reciprocating the indices itself. Correct? Okay. Now the next question we have. Again, these are the questions from your book itself, and this is exam style question. So wherever you have E written, that means this is examiner's approach. Like these type of questions you should be very clear with. Okay, so y is, again you can solve this though. It is x cubed over 8. That could be written as x over 2 and 3 there. And how did we do? Because 8 could be written as 2 cubed, sorry. 8 could be written as 2 cubed. So x cubed over 2 cubed could be written as x by 2 whole cubed. Now the a part says 1/3. So y to the power 1/3. Your y is x over 2 cubed, and if you have to do 1/3, right, it's just x by 2 the answer. Because we have to write in this form, so we can write it as a half x to the power 1, where your k is a half and n is 1, right? For B part we have a half y to the power of minus 2. Okay, so it's squared and inverse, you can think of. So we're going to be writing a half times y. What y is basically x cubed over 8 to the power minus 2. What we learned, we are going to be implementing it here. A negative indices, to make it positive, we're going to be flipping the fraction and it becomes like this, right? So we can write a half times 8 squared is 64 and x cubed squared is x to the power 6, right? So that is going to be 64 over 2 is 32 over x to the power 6. But we have to write it in this form. So can we write 32 x to the power of minus 6? So for this one, k is going to be 32 and n will be minus 6. Correct? And it's coming for 2 marks. But this concept you have to understand really well. The last question, that is, we have to solve it for. Okay. So let's do one thing. It's first of all I'm going to be multiplying it by x. So it would be 27 root x times x, that is equal to 1. Now let's divide by 27. So that will give us root x times x, that is 1 over 27. Or if you know these things, when we have the complete term and right side also the complete term, you have an equal sign, you can just change the places. You're going to be moving this x going there at the top and this 27 coming down at the bottom. So they can exchange their places, if that makes sense. Otherwise, we will be doing step by step. Like first, let's get rid of the denominator. So we multiply by x. This gives us this, and then dividing by 27. So overall, this is what we've got. Now, root x is nothing but x to the power half times x to the power of 1 to the power, is equal to 1 over 27. Okay, now it's a product rule over here. So half plus 1 will give you x to the power 3 halves, 3 over 2, that is equal to 1 over 27. Now is the test time of what I taught you. Remember, I wrote something there on the blue box, blue circle. What it was, if you have y to the power a over b, that is equal to p, only y will be p and reciprocal of that, b over a. This is what we need to implement over here. So we're going to be writing x is equal to 1 over 27 2/3, right? 3 halves, we just flipped it, see? Okay. This is simple question now. 1 cubed, half, anything, it would be 1 only. So it's 27 to the power 2/3 and you know how to do this, no? So we have to think of what cube to give you 27. The cube of which number gives you 27? So the cube of 1 over 3 gives you 27 times 2/3. It would be cancelled. You're going to be getting 1 over 3 squared, that is nothing but 1 over 9. Correct? So this is how we are like implementing our knowledge and solving questions. Now we will be sitting to discuss past paper questions very quickly and then winding it up. Okay. So here we are not going to be discussing I. We will focus on I part only. So I is nothing but, I mean, you know, this is the past paper question, and if you see the previous question, don't you feel like it's quite closer to this one? Yeah. So if you want to try, you can definitely. You can pause the video and try that. So here, what we're going to do, you have 16 a squared, that is equal to 2 square root of a. First I will divide by 16 both sides. So I'm going to be dividing by 16 both sides. Or if you are not understanding, like, let me also tell you the logic. It's not like I want to divide. So what I want a's to be on the same side. So we're going to be dividing by square root of a, right? So if you divide by square root of a both sides, so it would be 16 a squared over square root of a, that is equal to 2 a square root of a over square root of a. So can we write it as 16 a squared over square root of a, that is equal to 2. Now what next step is? Next step is dividing by 16. So if you divide by 16, so that would give us a squared over square root of a, that is equal to 2 over 16. Does that make sense? I mean, if I just try showing you, dividing by 16, so that would be cancelled and you will be having it there, right? Similarly, this is cancelled. Cancelling meaning dividing and giving you 1. Okay. Now, from here, you have a squared over a to the power half. That is equal to 1 over 8. So, can we solve this? A is divide, so indices subtract. 2 minus a half. It would give you 3 halves. So, a to the power 3 over 2, that is equal to 1 over 8. Again, that circle, you know, what we discussed over there, the corner part, is going to be implemented. So, can we write it to be a is equal to 1 over 8 and the power 2/3, right? Hope that makes sense. Okay, so if that makes sense, so a is going to be 1 over 8 to the power of 2/3. We have to think of the bottom number. So the cube of which number gives you 8? So it is nothing but 2 cubed, and outside you have 2/3. That would be cancelled. You are having 1 over 2 squared, that is nothing but 1 over 4. So this is what the answer is. So for this question, we have to find out the value of a, that is equal to a quarter, nothing but a quarter. Correct? Yes, this is the exam approach, exam style questions. And for that, I feel like you actually are learning, I mean, over here, the implementation of some basic, you know, arithmetic is obviously there. Otherwise, you have here, it was a quotient rule when you are dividing, correct? After the quotient rule, there you have done what do we call it, fractional indices, like, yeah, and that is done. So quotient rule and fractional indices, two things are going to be called, and very important, that corner one, that corner method. Can we name it to be corner method? That is at the corner. But remember this terminology because it's not international, no? Okay, we have next question. Over here, we won't solve first part now because it includes rationalizing and many things. So rationalizing we will learn when we gonna be going through surds. So yes, we'll discuss this question, but once the surds is done. But yeah, we can solve this question. Not like surds, but we're gonna be using fractional indices here. It is 4. Can we write 4 to be, because this is 2, so we're gonna be writing 4 to be 2 squared. Can we write 4 to be 2 squared? And outside you have 3x minus 2, that is equal to 1 over 2 to the power 1 times 2 to the power half. That root thing, root 2, I've written as 2 to the power half. Okay, if I just simplify this thing again, so we can say it is a product law, right? So 1 plus a half will give you 3 halves. So overall, we can see it to be 2 to the power, let's expand. So 6x minus 4. So this 2 is going to be multiplying with both the terms, make sure. And you should not make these type of mistakes now in your A levels. A to the power 3 halves. Now what we need to do? We need to get rid of this. So we are going to be multiplying by, times it by 2 to the power 3 halves. So it would give you 2 to the power of 6x minus 4 times 2 to the power of 3 halves, that is equal to 1. Right? So right now what we have, same base are multiplying. So are we going to be using the product law again over here? So that would give us 2 to the power of 6x minus 4 plus 3 halves, that is equal to 1. Okay, over here you're going to be, a very nice method is going to be called 1 is nothing but, how do we get 1? Any base to the power 0. So because the base is 2 over here, so I will be writing 2 to the power 0. Any base, like 5 to the power 0 will give you 1, 8 to the power 0 will give you 1. Based on the need, you will be selecting the, base. So can we write 1 to be 2 to the power 0? So from here, we can say, like equating same basis, we can equate the indices. So that is going to be 6x minus 4 plus 3 halves, that is equal to 0. Okay, we have to find out the value of x. So 6x is going to be 4 minus 3 halves. So 8 minus 3, that is 5 over 2. So I'm writing there, less space. I will try adding one slide for solving from next time. So 6x is 5 halves. So x will be, just divide by 6, 5 by 12. And that is your final answer. It was not difficult, 100%. It was for 3 marks. But logical thinking was needed over there, like your decisions and many places where you can make mistake. So say for example, if you are just give me a sec. Okay, so if you are like just multiplying these two and forgetting to multiply that, so that would be wrong, right? And yeah, rest I guess is okay. Yeah, this is a new thing, like you should know. It's not new, but it is something, self-understanding. Like it's a method you have to decide and add over there. But once you have done it, you won't be forgetting that. Okay. Next question we have over here. Okay, what do you think? What should we do for this question? What's the first step should we do? What should we do? Yes, making all the bases to be 2. So that is 4. Can we say 2 to the power of x times 2 to the power of 2. 2 squared is nothing but 4. And y is there to keep it y. And 1 over 2 root 2. Last question we have seen, if it is 2 root 2 at the bottom, it makes 2 to the power 3 halves. So can we use that? 3 halves. Okay. Now again I'll be multiplying by 2 to the power 3 halves both sides, the same thing. So it would be 2 to the power of x times 2 to the power of 2y times 2 to the power of 3 halves, that is equal to 1. So here what we need to do, that's fine if you have 3 terms, 4 terms, 5 terms, but they all are having same base, so product law. So it would be 2 to the power of x plus 2y plus 3 by 2. That is equal to 1. And we can write 1 to be 2 to the power 0. So the whole indices thing is going to be from here x plus 2y plus 3 halves is 0. What we need to do? Okay, expressing y to be, okay, so we have to make y the subject. So 2y is going to be minus x minus 3 by 2. So y will be divided by 2 minus x by 2 minus 3 by 4. And I think this is our final answer. It was quick, no? Just 4-5 steps and we are done. Oh wow! Class break! Okay, let's have a quick recap of the questions. So, of the understanding. I feel like this corner method, which is written in green, is very important. If you just wrote it, if you jotted it down, that is very good. Inverse thing is also called in many questions. So inverse thing you should be very clear with. Yeah, rest is okay. Rest is not difficult. But most importantly, these questions we can also solve using surds. But yeah, we can also use the fractional indices. Hope that makes sense. See you soon. Bye-bye. Take care. Keep commenting. Bye-bye.